So we tried to send this out on Facebook, but of course the internet, the Facebook is doing stuff and tore apart my whole video. It all sounds like you can't even understand it because they're messing with it to tear it apart, scrubbing it and things. So we're going to get this up on YouTube so it sounds clear. So what we're talking about is what we're going to try to keep abreast of what's going on. So we won't be going to CR tonight because of the lieu of the protests that are going on in Berkeley and other places all across the country where they're trying to do prayer protests, and they do these prayer walk or like protests, and they're usually calm, non-violent kind of group meetings. They do these every year, and they're very peaceful and very fun to do. I've been a member of them, done reports on them in the past, and there's nothing violent about them. Now, what these liberal tards and Trump deranged syndrome psychopaths and leftists and snowflakes and retards want to do is they want to try to say or negate in a way that, by Christians just having a peaceful protest, that they're the violent people because it caused them to become violent. Well, they were violent because that was their intention on why they're coming there. So we just want to expose that underwear before it even gets out there to be circulating that it's the other way around, because they're the ones that are doing it. Groups like the KKK, the Black Panthers, the white supremacists, Black Lives Matter, groups, that only think that they only matter and everybody else can go, to hell, or they don't really, they're insignificant. They don't really care. They just think blacks only matter, And then, you have the KKK, like I said, and then you have Fatifa and other groups that are like Fatifa that are out there too, doing all kinds of mayhem. Putting videos up on Facebook saying, with guns, saying they're going to show up to these protests, these peaceful prayer protests, and rallies and visuals that they're having all across the country at colleges and towns and cities near you, that they're going to come in there with guns and with force and try to create a confrontation with these Christians or Trump supporters. It's like an example, like, just yesterday, there's a 25-year-old young lady who must be one of these liberal tards, or who I call Trump deranged syndrome. That's what she's diagnosed with, because she lashes out at a man who had Trump on his car, on his SUV. And of course, this girl's driving her car, and she about almost ran over the guy. He stepped out of his car and he was taping her, and she about almost run into him. And he got in his car real fast, and she smashed into his car, was calling him obscenities, calling him racist, and calling him all kinds of names and cussing real sporadically. I won't repeat what she said, the obscenities, because they were not good for family viewing or for this channel, but they were really bad, put it that, to say the least. And she almost literally tried to run him over with her SUV, because he had Trump on his car. That's how ridiculous it is. It'd be just like if you got a cross on your car, they might come after you or try to fight you because they don't like the cross. Or like, say you may have "Make America Great Again" on your shirt or hat or your shoulder, and they may think, that you're a racist, that you're a racist and all, and they'll come after you and want to fight you because you want to, anything that's patriotic they're against, because they're all against America and a free society, because they want to have the cool to be able to get all the perks and think the Obama phones and all. And they want to live under the Hillary scope of things, because these are the people that are all mad, all the way down to the middle school level, all the way up to the adult level of education. We have adults even beyond college that are acting like this, doing crazy things like this. There's Trump, the range hater syndrome, people, Hillary supporters, and Clinton supporters. So that's why all this stuff is going on, and a lot of this stuff is being funded by Joe Sornos. His nose is probably pretty hard. It should be punched in several times over. He should be locked up in a prison in a hole somewhere where he never gets out. But he's the one that's behind a lot of these things that are going on. He's the one who's in bed with Facebook and with Twitter and probably YouTube too, and trying to block and censor and hush people's opinions, because they don't want this stuff getting out, and they don't want people to be having a peaceful discussion. They just want to keep people infighting on everything from religion to what people say, and even over ideas. They just don't want people having a peaceful discussion, because that'll ruin the narrative. So they want to send out all this psychological stuff to try to keep everybody fighting at each other on every form and every shade and every level. And that's we're going to be breaking up these. We're going to be breaking out these stories, and we're hoping that nothing happens and praying, and I hope that everybody does go to prayer over the weekend, that we don't have any shootings or any kind of violence going on in any of these protests. Because like Christians, they're all going and they're doing these protests, and they're all peaceful. But these Antifa people are nothing but. These are just out of control, privileged lunatics, and these are the ones that should be locked up. And these are the ones that are going there to cause mayhem. It's not the Christians that are just walking around praying and singing songs, devoting it to their Creator, Lord, and Savior. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Just like I don't see anything wrong with Islam doing their things, even though I don't agree with what they do, but I may not like what they do because they're not practicing godly principles. But I'm not going to go and interrupt their mosque worship and go in there and shoot up the place because they don't believe the same way I believe, or don't believe the same way Sally Sue believes, because we're all living together and we all have to integrate with this culture because America is. But Muslims seem to have a hard time with that because America is a free melting pot for everyone, and we all need to integrate to the same culture, which Muslims have a hard time doing. They rather force our culture, and of course they do this, and they say this in their video, they force their culture on the masses, on everyone else, and they don't live by the same very culture. It's just like the more they get us fighting, Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, well, he's not the owner, it's been sold off to the CIA or probably, Google. Google owns Facebook now. But the thing is, this stuff has happened because, these people are living really in denial, and they all want to try to just keep everybody infighting and not everybody have a rational, calm discussion. And as being Christian, true American, patriotic patriots like we are, that we should not have to live in fear. We should not have to counter and have to clamor on their, or suck on their cowtails of their tassels. We need to stand up and stay firm and come together as a group. I know you know me from CR, Celebrate Recovery, and Broken Chains CR. And you know who I am, just like I know who a lot of you all are, and I love you. But share this video far and wide. Our freedom is really at stake right now. What happens this weekend of these protests, these peaceful protests, is going to be really the tell-all. With these Tifa putting these videos up saying they're threatening to go there with weapons and force and to do mayhem to Christians possibly, and even Trump supporters, and just to possibly hurt or even kill some people is what they said on Facebook and other social medias, days ago. And what we've seen out of Charlottesville, Virginia, where we saw the KKK, the Antifa, the black premise people were coming out, and all these people were riding on the same bus, all wearing different T-shirts, but all coming off the same buses all together. So that was all financed, and it was all admitted by Joe Sarnos and other private groups that Clinton hired to pay to get this inciting going. I mean, these people they had it on Craigslist and other places on the internet where you could actually be hired as a person that would go and disrupt an event, and they would pay you to be housed in an apartment. They would pay for your food and pay for you to travel up there to Washington or to travel up there to Charlottesville when it happened. And it probably got people being paid to go up to these protests where they're being held in various places all throughout the nation. Do exactly what they did in Charlottesville, Virginia, but they're going to roll it out nationwide this time. So, I think something big is going to happen in the offing, but when is, I don't know, but it's soon, because they've been edging up to that. I mean, we just had a lady practically try to run over a guy, like I said on Facebook, but it was all garbled up, so we're trying to do it on here, so hopefully it won't be. And, of course, I don't know if she got arrested or if she's in custody or the police just look the other way like they do. But like if you and I did that as Christians, we would be locked up and thrown under jail and be tried for murder. But I don't know if this girl's going to be tried for murder or not, or if she's been locked up. I don't know. I hope so. But, if a cop came that was, somebody that is a true American, I'm sure she would be in jail, and she should be in jail because she almost did kill that guy. They should get her for at least violent driving, for attempted manslaughter, and damage to his property, to his vehicle, and to him as a person. She yelled at him violently, called him names, used slurs that were racial, called him a racist, because he had the word Trump on his car. And it's so ridiculous and so just so insane. But this is what these, Trump deranged syndrome people look like and how they act. And we saw what Whoopi did, Goldberg, on The View just a couple of weeks ago, and what she's done a few times more since then of her outburst. So we see the rage and the uncontrollable deranged Trump syndrome hater coming out of her too. So we know that she don't like Trump. We can tell that by her actions and her behavior. And we'll probably see some of that this weekend at these events and all throughout the country that are going on. So stay tuned to Love FM, YouTube, and Facebook, and Periscope. And we're going to try to get this out to you. And hopefully we won't be garbled on Facebook. But if we are, you can watch us on YouTube and even on Periscope and on Scene.life, which is an alternative to Facebook, but it's not owned by the Zuckerberg family or owned by him or by the government. It's independent. It's independent news or information site. Scene.life. Try it out. So it's an alternative to Facebook, and it's free, and it also allows you to be able to express yourself for free without being censored or taken down, or blocked or getting strikes against your name because you say the truth. And the truth is so bad, it's so evil, but yet that's why a lot of these people have gotten strikes. And that's why I hope all the more that these YouTube people will wake up and stand up for people's rights. I mean, it's like they took the U out of YouTube, and now it's more like for certain groups, but it's not for everyone. It's only for certain groups who promote their agenda or promote the stuff that they approve. But yet, when it comes to telling the truth or having an independent voice, like a lot of people out here, that's why they're being shut down or banned. And it's wrong, because that's what censorship looks like on its bare axis, and that's what we see being demonstrated time and time again here, and on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and a lot of other places. So, this will keep you up to date what's going on, and hopefully we won't have another repeat or even worse like we had in Charlottesville last August. We won't have that again this year throughout different places in the nation where they carry out these protests nationwide. This is Michael DeSilvis. I love you all. Be safe and pray for these protests, that they'll be peaceful, and that these TIVA people won't do anything. And if they do, there'll be plans in place to stop them before they even carry out their assaults with their weapons or even with their firearms that they say they're going to come to these events with, to potentially possibly have an altercation with everyone else who doesn't represent them. So be in prayer, Christians and prayer warriors, and be in prayer, everyone, for this weekend. It's Michael DeSilvis from Love FM and on YouTube and everywhere else. Take care. God bless America. Let's save America. Let's come together. Everyone, I love you. Take care.